Hello, I'm Dave. Welcome to Rockin' the Mitten. I'm filming this and probably will upload it on the 17th of March, so happy Irish Pride Day to everyone out there. Hope you are staying safe, hope you are feeling well. Kind of crazy times we're living in right now, and for me, I kind of escaped that a little bit by increasing the amount of records I'm spinning. And so I want to talk a little bit about that today, and hopefully we can have a conversation and forget about things for a little while and just focus on the music. So let's get started. All right. First one I picked up. Actually, this is something I have said in the past on a previous channel that I ran that I probably would never do when it came to new vinyl, but now principles be damned, right? So I picked up this newish album, newer release, a what I consider the vinyl period up to 1990. So anything 1989 and previous I consider to be the vinyl period. That's just my own thing. So don't argue with me about that. That's just a personal thing. Anyway, so it was in at the Barnes & Noble. Of course, everyone knows about the 50% off sale, and I saw this there, and it was about $6. So I thought, what the hell? And this is War of Kings by Europe. And this came out in 2015 on Hellenbach Recordings. Is it recordings or records? Yeah, recordings. It's their 10th album, I believe. And of course, Europe, everybody should know from the whole Final Countdown 1986 album. Love it or hate it. But here they are, they're back. They've really never gone anywhere, I guess. They continue to release albums. I've never really paid any attention to them after the 80s, so this was kind of a surprise for me to find in Barnes & Noble, and for a couple, well, $6. Thought, what the hell? And it's a decent gatefold, nice artwork, but the rest of the packaging is kind of, custom labels, but they're really just kind of black and white with Europe's name on there. Inner sleeve just has the band photos and stuff like that, so it's not really spectacular packaging, but we're not here to talk about the packaging. So what's going on with this album? What really surprised me when I first turned this on was I was expecting to get what I heard back in the 80s, and that is not at all what's happening here. Joey Tempest, the frontman, is not in possession of the same sort of vocal range he had back in the day. He keeps it definitely in a mid-range kind of vocal performance, and so there's a big difference. The music isn't as glammy, glitzy, sleazy, hard rocky, hair metal-y. It's just more straight up blues rock, and what I kind of got putting together his vocal style now and the style of music, it reminded me a lot of Whitesnake. I mean, he's definitely not a David Coverdale impersonator, but there was a lot of that going on. Plus, they've got a lot of organ elements going on here, so it also adds a little bit of a kind of like a later day Deep Purple feel too. So if you're into, the kind of a heavy blues rock, give this one a shot. I mean, it seems like their stuff is kind of hard to get over here, and I don't know how this one ended up at Barnes & Noble, but I'll take it. There's no really great songs on here, but there's no really bad ones either. So I don't know, if you're interested in checking out what Europe is up to these days. Again, this is 5 years old, but and they've had a couple albums since then, but give it a shot. It's not bad, but it's not great either. So still decent listen. All right, next one is a Scottish band, not a Scottish music or Celtic music band, but a rock band from Scotland. And this is their 13th album. Came out in 1982. This is Nazareth 2XS. Came in 1982 on A&M, I believe. Yes, A&M Records. And this was pretty interesting. It was their last album to crack the Billboard 200, and it's pretty good. There's an interesting thing. John Locke, keyboardist of Spirit, is all over this album. So in his keyboards in particular, and there's some electronic beats and things going on too. Definitely give it that 80s rock feel. Not a lot going on in the back, just kind of a reverse image, but that's not bad. It's still pretty good. There's pick Games, the last track on side 1, really is the epitome of 80s rock, but it works here. I kind of dug it. It wasn't too bad. And the first two tracks on the second side, Back to the Trenches and Dream On, which is not an Aerosmith cover, they're pretty good too. So if you want to YouTube those three tracks just to see what's going on with this album, check it out. But it was definitely a really good listen. I really enjoyed it. Yeah, Scottish blues rock with a heavy 80s touch, Nazareth 2XS. Alright, now we're going to get into some Michigan bands, which is the whole point of this channel, which I've kind of never gotten to until this point, so this should be fun. It is for me anyway. This is a 1969 debut by The Frost, called Frost Music. The Frost was a band that originated in Alpena, which was way kind of up here. But they migrated down to the Detroit area, and they became a staple on the rock scene along with MC5 and the Stooges. Pretty much the house band for Grandy Ballroom for a while. And like I said, this is their debut. It came out on Vanguard Records. There's the band there. It was founded by, where is he? Of course, standing up, Dick Wagner, who would go on to have a long association with Alice Cooper, both Alice Cooper band and Alice Cooper solo artist. So yeah, he primary songwriter, lead guy here, and what you get with this is basically heavy psych, lots of blues rock influences. There's the Vanguard label, which is kind of cool. And if you want to really check out what they're all about on this album in particular, there are a couple of songs. Let's see, track 4 on side 1, Take My Hand, and track 2 on side 2, Stand in the Shadows. If you can look those up, Take My Hand and Stand in the Shadows. Look for them on YouTube, I'm sure they're out there. Definitely is what this band is all about. Great music, great heavy psych, just absolutely loved it. And of course, was fortunate enough that my copy came with the original inner with the lyrics. So that was pretty cool. But yeah, The Frost is definitely a band I love. I think based on the label that they were signed on, I mean, Vanguard didn't really give them the promotion that they could have used. I've heard some remarks about the artwork was kind of bland, so it didn't attract people in the store, which I can't argue with this cover. But and they should have been bigger than they were. That's my opinion. But I truly believe that they should have been a lot bigger than they were. But yeah, they put out a total of 3 albums. This is their debut, like I said. So definitely want to check these guys out. Another one of my favorite Michigan bands, and this one, they're from Ann Arbor. This is came out in 1975. This is their 5th album. This is Motor City Connection by Brownsville Station, led by Cub Coda. These guys had a big hit in the 70s, which was covered by Motley Crue, "Smoking in the Boys' Room." So that was kind of their peak popularity kind of point. But this is not a bad album in itself of 70s blues rock, like I said, 1975. Definitely fun, good blues rock. I don't really think any of these tracks really stood out from one another, although they do have a couple of covers on here. They do where is it? Combination Boogie by it's a cover of J.B. Hutto, not really sure, not a old school blues guy. Cover his song, but Crazy Legs by is it Little Walker? Yes, Little Walter Walker. Little Walter. That's kind of the best song on the album. It just kind of blows everything else away, which, you know, when a cover is your best song, it's not that great, but still, this is a pretty decent album. This is kind of in the middle of their discography. What did I say? It was their 5th album. Yeah, so, yeah. So, it wasn't very commercially successful, but still, it's a fun album to listen to. I would not start there. I mean, you might want to start with their debut album, No BS. A lot of covers on that album, but it's just a good boogie rock, blues rock album. Switching gears a little bit in terms of musical style, but this is still sticking in Michigan here. This is the self-titled 1985 album from the Herbaceous. Now, calling this album is a bit of a stretch. I think there's only 6 tracks on here. So it's kind of a mini LP, a little more than EP. Maybe you can consider an EP, but whatever. They really only put out a couple of cassettes and a few singles, and then this. So unless you're going to get really deep into their catalog and be kind of completist about the whole thing, this is probably where you're going to want to go. But yeah, the band, they are a power pop band out of Detroit. There they are there, with hints of ska all over the place. In fact, I got a song called Scoffle. And but it's fun. It was fun to listen. Like I said, it came out in 1985. It was on Wild Child Discs, which I'll pull a label out. Wild Child Discs was a small label in the Huntington Woods, which is a town suburb of Detroit. It's pretty cool. They do a cover of Twist and Shout. If you can find it on YouTube, definitely a unique cover. Something I really haven't heard that song performed quite that way before. Definitely check that out. And as I say that, there's a song on here called Check It Out. So if you could, if you find that one on YouTube as well, that's a fun one to listen to. They have on Check It Out. Sorry, losing track of thought. On Check It Out, guitar solos are provided by Jim McCarty, who you may know from Mitch Ryder and the Detroit Wheels or Cactus. So he guests on this album, which is kind of cool. But yeah, this was kind of fun. It was a neat find. Like I say, if you're into the power pop, a little bit of ska, give the Herbaceous a try just for something unique. And let's see, one more Michigan album here. This is Born to Die by Grand Funk Railroad. Kind of a somber album title, kind of a somber cover there. This came out in 1975 on Capitol. Not a lot to say about this one either. It's good blues rock. The title track was actually about. Well, before I get to that, let's say Grand Funk Railroad, for those who don't know, are a band that's from just down the road here in Flint, and but yeah, they definitely have a good, hot, solid blues rock sound. I really enjoy them. The song on here, Sally, was actually kind of a love song for Sally Kellerman, actress who played the Hot Lips in the original MASH movie, not in the TV show, but in the movie. So that's kind of cool. But yeah, good, solid blues rock. I really enjoyed it. I think you would too if you're not into Grand Funk. I think, or have a familiarity with Grand Funk. This is a decent place to start. It's probably not their best album, but it's not their worst. So yeah, Born to Die, Grand Funk Railroad. Going back to 1968 and away from Michigan quite a bit. This is the self-titled album from CCR, Creedence Clearwater Revival. Of course, this has Susie Q on it, which the faux hype sticker will tell you. And this is a second press, and you can tell that primarily by that sticker there. But it is also on the silver and blue fantasy label, which is that. And of course, the run out. Etchings in the run indicate that this was a Hollywood pressing, which was where some of the second run were manufactured. So, yeah, how can you go wrong with this album? I put a spell on you, Susie Q. I mean, it's CCR. What's more to say about that? But great album. I really enjoyed it. Excuse me. And finally today, this is the self-titled, I think 12th album from Genesis. Came out in 1983, 1983, yes, 1983 on Atlantic, and this was an album that kind of, I'm sure you know about it, but it kind of cemented Genesis as a pop band more than a prog band. Although there's plenty of progressive elements to be found here, especially on side A. But I mean the hits, Mama, That's All, Home by the Sea, Illegal Alien, Taking It All Too Hard, Just a Job to Do. Practically every song in the album was a commercial success as a single, and I just love this album. I could and have listened to it repeatedly over and over again. It's just a fun album for me. And if you're, the old school Genesis fan, I'm sure this is a love or hate relationship with this album. But for me, I'm right at this point a casual Genesis fan. I think the only other album I have is Abacab, Looking for Duke. But I'll probably start exploring a little bit further back just to see what I'm missing. But for me, so far, this is the best album that Genesis put out, in my opinion. Of course, my opinion doesn't mean much in this case because, like I said, I only got a couple albums. But so anyway, that's it. Rambled on quite long enough. Hopefully it wasn't too rambly. So again, I hope you all are staying safe. Hope you've got all the necessities that you need. And I hope you all are enjoying the time spinning as many records as you possibly can. It's my goal. So till next time, everybody, be well. Peace.